Hey everybody, welcome to Q&A Wednesday. I am really excited to chat with you guys today. So we are going to be answering some questions because that's what we do on Q&A Wednesday. Thank you, Captain Obvious. And if coffee could kick in any time now, I would be a very happy camper. So the first question that I wanted to just run through, I'm going to read it off, so just bear with me. Tamara asked yesterday, she said, how do you make decisions quickly or overcome indecisiveness? I seem to drag out my decision making and only just realize that I just need to make a decision already. Any tips or wisdom on how you make decisions effectively? So for me, I guess like one of the ways, hey Tamara, your question's up first. How good's that? So one of the ways that I look at something, you already know the answer, right? That's usually the thing. You already know the answer. And usually, for me anyway, the reason that usually the reason that I've been making a decision around something is based on fear. So is this going to work? Is it not going to work? Am I going to lose out? Am I going to win? It's usually fear that keeps me from making a decision. So the more that I have grown and learned and practiced actually going, well, does this feel right? Yes. Okay, just say yes and work out the rest later. If it's a no, then it's like no. So usually the procrastination and the indecisiveness is that you already know the answer. You're just usually just scared. Okay, so one of the things that I think about or one of the examples I can give you might be around choosing to invest in a new mentor or a new program or something like that. And in my head, I've been burned before by other mentors. I've had mentors take clients from me. I've had other mentors do stupid things like take money and then fall off the face of the planet and not deliver, and been really shitty experiences. And for me, if I'm looking at doing something different, then one of the things that I have to sort of like step back and look at is, am I making or am I procrastinating on this because I'm worried that the same thing might happen again? Now, if that answer to me is a yes, then I've got to take a look at, well, do I want that past experience to impact my future experiences? This is a different person, it's a different program, it's a different thing, it's a different learning, it's a different whatever, and then I've got to make that decision. All right, well, is it a yes or is it a no? Am I doing it based on fear around money? I mean, that type of stuff is not usually a good place to make decisions from, right? So we don't want to make decisions from a place of fear. We want to make decisions from a place of empowerment. So that's that. Some other things that I've found. So for example, like another example of this would be around Spy School that I'm putting on up on the Gold Coast in October. I've flip-flopped on this all year. Now, I know that this is something that I want to run. This is something that I'm doing, but I was originally doing it in June, and then I've got it noted down for October, and then I've got it down and I changed it to November, and it just like I was flip-flopping around because I was scared that I wouldn't be able to pull it off. Really, at the end of the day, that's what it was. And it's a reasonably big financial investment to put on a 4-day event and to do all of the things that I do as part of these events that I do. So I just actually had to go, right, just rip off that freaking Band-Aid, just go, make the decision, move forward, just do it. And you know what, at the end of the day, what's the worst thing that happens? What is the absolute worst case scenario? What's the worst thing that could possibly happen? And so that usually helps me to go, all right, just make the decision, get going, and let's go. Hope that makes sense, Tamara. Good morning, Joan. You're up next. Oh, you didn't think you could make it. I'm glad that you're here. So we're moving on to yours next. So the question I've just answered was a question I get a lot around decision making, procrastination, and things like that. You've just got to work out what's that thing that's holding you back from making the decision, and then kind of clear that out. And don't make decisions based on fear of not getting results, fear of getting results, fear of money, or whatever the case might be. Okay. Set dates to run a workshop in July. Can you give me some guidance around the format for writing landing page copy, please? Okay. Hey, Dallas, nice to see you. Thanks for waving. Waving back without the emoji, just me waving to you. All right, landing page copy. This is always a big one. The thing that we have always got to think about before you write landing page copy, before you write your ads, before you create your free things, come back to audience. And the big thing that we need to think about first and foremost is, what are the 3 big problems that we need to address? Or that your audience is having? What's the 3 big things that they are experiencing right now? So for my people, it's like they're so frustrated and overwhelmed with the glut of information that we have out there around marketing, social media, digital, landing pages, ads, all of this stuff. Everybody's a fucking expert. So I know that gets really frustrating, and there is a whole lot of smoke and mirrors and stuff like that out there. So like, that's a really huge problem. And overwhelm leads to frustration, right? The other problem that my people have is that there is so much choice out there that it can be really hard to know what choice you need to make, right? And then that contributes back up to the overwhelm. There's also this fear around money. Do you put money into ads? Do you put money into outsourcing? Do you put money into an agency? Do you do it yourself? Do you pay to test? So they're like the 3 big problems that people have, my people have. So you need to think, Joan, go straight back to who's your audience? What are the 3 big problems? Good morning, Helen. What are the 3 big problems that your people have? And how are they feeling as a result of that? So is it that they, like if your audience is mothers, for example, a typical, and I'm just going to be very generalistic, if they are, let's say that they were in a career role, they then went off to have babies, they could be really kind of torn between this desire to contribute, to get back into the workforce versus this thing around staying home. So they can have this kind of push-pull. What do I sacrifice? Do I have to sacrifice? How do I get it all? How do I make it all happen? So that might be a really big problem. Again, it's a bit like the how do I know I'm making the right choice? How do I know I'm making the right decision? So self-doubt starts coming in, right? Then there's also the judgment from other women. There's the judgment from the school mums. There's the judgment from the working mums. There's the judgment from everybody, from the mother-in-laws to the parents. There's this whole, doesn't really matter what choice you make, you're going to cop it from somewhere, right? Like there's that fear of that. So if that's another problem, we want to talk around that. So we've really got to get, before you start writing any kind of copy, before you start writing any sorts of ads, before you start doing any sorts of promotion, first and foremost, you've got to know who your audience is. The best thing to do is work out what are the 3 big problems, first of all. Then we need to have a look at, well, what would the ultimate outcome be? How do they want to feel? Do they want to feel empowered, strong, resilient, supported, cared for, nurtured, free? What is it that they really want? Fulfilled. And how is whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're offering, how is that going to get that for them? Okay, so we've got to think about that. So generally speaking, if you're looking at writing a landing page, you want to have a compelling headline. So, we're talking about Spice Girl a lot at the moment. So one of the things that I've got at the top is something along the lines of ready to create remarkable marketing without the bullshit, right? I know that's a big thing that my people want. And then I start talking around, well, we're frustrated, we're overwhelmed, we've got so much choice, it's hard to know, everybody's a freaking guru. Who do you listen to? Who do you say yes to? Who do you say no to? So you start writing copy. Okay, now, something that you need to be aware of when it comes to landing pages, so all sales pages, if you are wanting to make a sale so you're asking for cash on a landing page, it needs to be long form. There will be a lot of people like me. I will not go and read all of the copy. That's fine. You are not writing that long landing page copy for me. You are writing it for the people that do go and read through word for word, section by section, sentence by sentence. The approximate number of humans that make up the people that will look at that is about 75%. About 25% of people will just read the headline and they're like, yep, I'm in, great, how do I pay you? Just get me in, take my money please, let's go. Am I going to win? Am I going to get results? Does this solve my problems? Yes, take my money, let's go. Okay? There's not a huge proportion of the population that make buying decisions like that. Most people are a little bit more cautious. They want to feel like you get them, like they can trust you, like this thing that you're talking about is actually going to be helping them. So you will get feedback, and I get it from people that I value, like I value their opinions, and sometimes I'll say, Nicola, the landing page is just so long, I stopped reading. And I'm like, thank you, that's great, I appreciate your feedback. I don't change it. Okay, because I know that the majority of people need to have that long form copy. They need to see the features, they need to understand the benefit, they need to understand the outcome and how that relates to their problems that they've had. I hope that makes sense. Now, alternatively, if you're creating a landing page that is offering something for free, like a webinar, a checklist, a download, a video series, anything like that, then your landing page can be really quite short, right? It doesn't have to be a really big, long, extended thing, because you've probably already talked about the problems and how this free thing is going to fix that problem for them in the ad. Okay, so the job of an ad is to sell the click and to build that, oh, yep, yep, that's me, yep, that's me, yep, that's me. Take them to the landing page just so that they can enter their information. Okay, so that one can be really short. If you're and those landing pages will convert at 30% or higher, or they should. That's the conversion rate you're looking for. On a sales page, if your copy is amazing and the audience is right and the targeting is right and everything like that, you'll probably convert between 0.1% and 1%. All right, which means that you've got to get 100 people looking at that registration page for a paid workshop or a paid event or a paid product or something like that. You need to get 100 eyeballs on that in order to make one sale. Okay, so you've got to drive the traffic. So you've got to buy the traffic for that. And that 1% is if your copy is really awesome. Okay, generally we're looking at 0.1 to 1%. So what that means is that you've got to get, like, at worst case, you've probably got to get 1,000 eyeballs looking at that landing page, viewing that sales page where you're talking about your workshop, your event, your paid program. I'm talking about asking for money. You've got to get 1,000 people looking at it in order to make one sale. So just be aware of that, okay? And we'll talk about this in a lot more detail on next Tuesday in Unstoppable Entrepreneur Live. It's all about launches and what to expect and what to look for in the conversions, and why it can take 3 months to launch something properly and actually make sales. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a lot more depth next week. Okay, what's the best way to link the Facebook post content to get people to click the link? Okay, so again, we've got to look at the problem and then the solution. All right, so stories, and you've really got to mix it up here. Okay, so you guys will see that if you look at the posts that I've been putting out on this business page, on my personal profile, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, everything is kind of, it's very, I'm adding value, and then I'm talking about Spy School. I'm adding value, I'm talking about Spy School. So, because like that's my whole focus at the moment. I really would love to have so many people in the room cutting through the bullshit, helping people walk away with a brilliant marketing plan that they can implement straight away. So in the posts, I'm kind of mixing it up a little bit. So I'm not just always saying, come to Spy School, come to Spy School, come to Spy School, because you guys would tune out, you'd hate it, yeah? So I tell some stories, I share some testimonials, I share photos and imagery of previous events. I talk about the problems that people are having. And then I'm always also positioning why you should come along. So what the solution is and why it's important. So you vary the length of the posts from, again, some people will read all of the long ones. So you need to have some long ones. Some people will just read the short ones and be like, yeah, that's me. Okay, I'm in. Take my money. Let's go. So it's just about putting out different types of posts in order to engage with different people, but not only doing that, we've got to sandwich those with other pieces of value. So links to your blogs, picture quotes, text posts, motivation stuff, inspirational stuff, sharing other people's videos, doing Facebook Lives. If all you're ever doing is coming on your page or on your profiles, good morning Ainsley, and selling, you will lose people because they can smell the desperation, they can smell the neediness, and they'll just tune out. And then it's really hard to kind of get them back. So we want to base the audience curation and therefore the engagement that you get with people based around value first, and then say, hey, if you want more help, this is how we do that. But really elegantly. Okay, we don't want to ram stuff down people's throats. So just bear that in mind somewhere. So that's that. Hope that helps you. Okay. One of the questions that I had specifically, I was chatting with a lady yesterday, and she asked about Spy School, actually, Sales and Marketing Spy School. And the question was like, is it all just teaching and lecturing, or are we workshopping? So I hate events, particularly multi-day events, where you just sit there and it's just, this is what you're learning, and I don't think that it works. So the way that I run my events is that there'll be teaching and then we workshop it. And then we teach and then we workshop it. So throughout the 3 or the 4 days, depending on what ticket you purchase, there's training, and then we workshop. So it's using the people around us to help for motivation and inspiration, and then some masterminding and stuff like that. So that was probably that. And then the other question was, how far along do I need to be? Like, is it beginners or more advanced? Honestly, it's going to help. This is a really naff answer. Whether you are experienced in ads or experienced in marketing and you just want to get better with social media, then it's great for you. If you are brand new, starting out, and you're just kind of like getting all the things in place so that you can launch later on in the year or next year, perfect for you too. You don't have to have any experience. We will walk you through everything that you need in the lead up to the event, and then also in the room in October. Okay. Joan, do you write about your experience with those problems in the copy? Okay, good question. So in the landing page copy, you probably want to have something in there that's a little bit of an about you type thing, because we want people to understand a bit about you. So yeah, you want to have that in there, but we don't want to make that the full focus. Okay, we want to bring in some social proof. So something that I've been doing this since 2010, so I know this stuff in and out, and I don't think it's always necessary for me to say, hey, I've been doing this since 2010, and no. But if I'm looking at, particularly not for free stuff, right? But if I'm looking at a sales page, and if I think that, and if we're looking at driving cold traffic, so people who haven't met you before, new likers that maybe haven't had an experience from you, they need to know why they should even freaking listen to you. They need to know why they should trust you. So it is definitely important on a page where you might be asking for money. It's like, well, why me? And it doesn't need to be this long thing. It can be really short. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a mother. I've got 3 children. You know, I'm married. I built $1 million a year business, and I've done that purely through social media. I've done it purely through Facebook. So, you know, if you want to come and learn from me, if you think that, you know, I can do this from living in the middle of freaking nowhere, I've helped other people collectively. I think we're looking at maybe 30 odd million, 40 odd million that I've been able to assist, you know, in terms of business generation. You know, I've helped make squillions of dollars across the years that I've been doing this for. So if you want to learn, come and join me. So it doesn't need to be really big, and you just want to draw back on your experience. Now, for some of you, you might be reasonably, you know, early on, right? And that's great. Draw upon your previous experience and look at the some of the nuances or some of the things that have happened for you that are going to support you with what you're talking about. So if I decided to be a parenting coach, I've never been a parenting coach before, right? But I've got 3 kids. My oldest is almost 17. My second child's nearly 12, and my third child is nearly 10. So I've got 17 odd years experience of being a parent. We've been through some really shit times, let me tell you. We've been through some really great times as parents, and there is a lot of value that I can draw upon. Plus, I've got my coaching experience, and I know how to help people get through. So that might be something that I would do. So it doesn't have to be, I've been a parenting coach for the last 12 years. You know, it's just how can you use your experience, look for those common links that you can utilize to support your case as to why people should listen to you. I hope that helps you. Okay, Francis, what about Facebook Lives? Are they really as popular as they're made out to be? That's a really excellent question, Francis. Okay, so here's how I'm going to answer that. I've gotten clients because of the Facebook Lives that I put out there. I don't have huge numbers come and watch me every morning, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. Sometimes there's 10 people, sometimes there's 3 people, sometimes there's 25 people. Sometimes people can't watch live and they'll watch the replay. So the reason that I think they're excellent, and the reason that I think that every single business owner should invest the time in doing them, is because Facebook is hungry for video content. Okay. Now, I love it when you guys come and watch live. It helps, you know, fuel me. It gives me motivation. I love it. I love the interaction. But I'm not only doing it for that. I'm doing it to help you guys. I'm doing it so that you guys can get to learn from me, so that you can get to, you know, either decide that you like me or don't like me, or that you trust me or that you don't. So that I can answer your questions. And as you know, my whole thing is around dispensing of the bullshit and being as transparent as humanly possible. So that's kind of me, and that's what I'm all about. So one of the best things for me has been this implementation of Facebook Live, because I'm so much better speaking than I am writing. You know, I just find it a lot easier to discuss things verbally versus writing stuff down. So that's that. So I think if you're coming at it with the intention of adding value, connecting with your people, helping your people get to know you, working out, helping your audience to decide whether you're the right fit or whether you're not, then, you know, I think it's honestly, it's one of the best things that we can have. If you are not prepared to do Facebook Lives, then pre-record your videos. You know, like I said, Facebook is still hungry for video content. So what they want to do, they want to compete with YouTube as being the number one video platform in social media. So what do they need to do in order to have that happen? They need video. They need video content. And what they'll start doing, you know how when you're on YouTube and you've got those ads that are going on your YouTube videos, that's what they're going to be doing in Facebook. So, you know, the thing that we've always got to look at is what's coming out, and it changes all the time, right? Facebook algorithms change all the time. Instead of cracking the shits over it and questioning, you know, maybe whether are they still as popular, are they not as popular, you know, do we prioritize the time in doing this? Just give the platform what it wants, because it also has this added, hey Kelly, it has this other added benefit for you, whereby the other content that you're putting out does generally get more reach. Okay, so if I'm doing Facebook Lives, I will usually see a flow-on effect of my other posts that I've been putting up there increase in terms of reach. Now, the one thing that you don't want to measure is engagement. It doesn't mean anything. It's nice. It's nice that people are watching. It's nice that people are commenting. You know, it really helps for your ego to know that you're not just talking to an empty room or whatever else. But really, at the end of the day, engagement doesn't matter. What matters is that that you're getting enough content out there, that you're talking to your people, you're solving problems, you're connecting with your audience, so that in their heads, whether they click like or not, doesn't matter. In their heads, we want them to be thinking, yes, this person makes sense. Yes, I like this person. Or no, I don't like this person. And then when they're ready, there will be things that you've put out on your page or different offers that you make where people will sit there and be like, well, that's a no-brainer. You know, I need to be there. You know, I need to do that thing. Okay, because you've added value, you've added value, you've added value, you've added value. And then you say, hey, if you want some more help, this is how we go about that. I hope that makes sense, Francis. Really excellent question. So they're a must-have in your marketing plans at the moment. You've just, in your social media strategy, you've just got to do it. You've just got to have them. You don't have to do them for as long as I do them for, right? You don't have to do that. Today we've gone for a really long time today. We've gone for like 27 minutes, which is not normal for Q&A Wednesday. So I'm really, really grateful that you guys are hanging out. But really at the end of the day, if you're doing a Facebook Live that goes for like 5 minutes and you've identified a problem, you've solved it on that call, and then you're jumping off, then great. Just do it consistently. You might choose to do it every Friday or every Monday or every day or once a week, right? It's just about you being consistent, putting those, when we were at Westpac, so I worked for Westpac for 12 years, and that would be the rock in the diary, right? It does not move, come hell or high water, rock in the diary. So we'll start to see over the next little while, we'll start to see a lot more like video, like TV series and stuff like that going up on Facebook. Facebook wants to keep people in the platform. Okay, so if you can give content that helps keep people in the Facebook platform, then Facebook are going to love you. They're going to prioritize your content. They're going to help you and support you by also showing your other stuff out there to your people as well. So that's my little rant on Facebook Lives. Okay, so that is us for today. Now, if you do want, Kelly, I'll answer that in 2 seconds. If you want to learn how to do this, come to Spice School in October. We have got early bird tickets going on at the moment. Early bird finishes on the 1st of June. I will pop the link underneath. If you find these things helpful, then you're going to love spending 3 or 4 days in the room with us in October. It's the 5th, 6th, and 7th of October. If you come along as a general person, Kelly, you need to be there 4 days if you want to come along and be a VIP. So yay! All right, Kelly, how do you introduce yourself on a live without feeling silly? I feel so awkward. Okay, awesome, great question, really awesome question. So when I was doing that, because I film video blogs all the time, I'm kind of like, no, and hey, my name is Nicola, and I get it. Where on Facebook, they already know who you are because you've got your page name, and actually if they're on your website, they kind of should know who you are anyway because they're on your website. So the kind of thing that I'd be saying is you could do something along the lines of, hi, my name is Kelly and I'm really excited to have you today. This is what we're talking about. Or you do, I think this morning I just said, hey everybody, welcome to Q&A Wednesday. This is what we're going to be talking about. Right? That's the way that I kind of open up. So that's what we do. So I think if you just, you don't even need to introduce yourself unless you feel like you need to, but they should know who you are because your name should come up in the thing. Dallas, I'm grateful for your time. You're making a difference in my thoughts. Oh, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I really appreciate that. I'm on Kangaroo Island, so I can't get to the meeting. Oh, Dallas, you can get on a ferry and then you can get into Adelaide and then you can hop a flight up to the Gold Coast. I know you can do that. If you really want to do it, I know you can. And it's not till October, so you've got ages of time to plan that. Kelly, you're very welcome. Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to set you free to get about your Wednesday. Have a beautiful and amazing day. I'm so excited. We've got roller skating tonight. Can't wait to get my wheels on. Have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you later.